Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Friday, April the 25th. We got 3 games on Friday night. We got Game 3 of the Magic and Celtics series. We got Game 3 of Minnesota and the Lakers, and we got Game 3 of Pacers and Bucks. So we're going to talk through 2 plays that I like for the 3 games on Friday night. 2 early plays I like, taking a first look at the board Thursday night. We're going to talk through these plays, guys. We're going to share some information, some analysis, and give you a breakdown of why I like these plays. Now, before we do get started, make sure that you guys hit that like button down below. If you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, be sure to go sign up for Prizepicks and use that promo code NOAH when you sign up. When you place your first $5 lineup on Prizepicks, you're going to get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So this is an easy way to build up your bankroll. Use those promo funds, build some lineups, hopefully win some money, and start to build up that bankroll on Prizepicks. So again, use that code NOAH if you guys have not signed up yet. And also do want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can go sign up for Sleeper. Use promo code NOAH over there, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So you deposit, $10, you'll get an additional $10 to play with. You deposit $50, you'll get an additional $50. You deposit $100, you'll get an additional $100. Just whatever you deposit on that first deposit is matched up to $100. And for those of you that don't know what Sleeper is, they're a DFS pick'em app. They're very similar to Prizepicks. You just pick more or less on player projections. You build out your lineup. You can make up to an 8-pick lineup. You can mix and match sports on Sleeper, and you can win up to 100x your money. So if you guys do want to go try them out, again, use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Sleeper. But we got some plays, guys, to talk about for Friday. Now, I would recap our plays from Thursday, but I'm actually recording this video Thursday night as the games are going on. I'm recording this during halftime of the OKC-Memphis game. We took Jaren Jackson Jr. over 31.5 fantasy score, and he has 17 fantasy score at halftime, so we'll see how that goes. Looking decent. John Morant got injured, and we'll see if he returns. Honestly, if John Morant doesn't come back, that's probably good for Jaren, but we'll see how that goes. And then we took Nikola Jokic over 58 fantasy score. Last time I checked, Jokic had like 30 fantasy points getting close to halftime, so that's looking decent too. But again, it's hard to really give a recap of the plays because the games are going on as I'm recording this video, and I wasn't planning on staying up like another 2 hours because if the games, if I stay up till the games are over, I'm going to be up for another 2 hours, and I live on the East Coast, and it's already 11 a.m. or excuse me 11 o'clock at night. I'm getting close to midnight as I'm making this video, so we're just going to talk through our plays for Friday, and hopefully our plays come through from Thursday's video. But going over our Friday plays, I'm going to talk about 2 fantasy score props that I do like for today. And the first one is going to be in the Pacers-Bucks game. And I like Brook Lopez for more than 17.5 fantasy score. So this is a really, really low line on Brook Lopez. And the reason this line is so low is just largely due to what he's done in this series. In Game 1, he only had 12.8 fantasy score, went under this line. But he also didn't play a lot of minutes. In that game, he only played 20.5 minutes. He didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. The Bucks pretty much only played Giannis in the fourth quarter of that game. The rest of the guys on the floor were all bench guys. Doc Rivers was just basically trying to try out different lineups. I mean, for the most of that quarter, the Bucks were down like 15-20, so he was just basically throwing out different lineups. And then last game, Brook Lopez also did see his minutes get cut, only played 16 minutes, but that was largely due to Bobby Portis just playing out of his mind. I mean, Bobby Portis had a huge game last game. He couldn't miss. And that's one of the reasons that Lopez saw his minutes get cut down. Now, my one concern is that so far in this series, the Bucks have not been playing Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez together. They have just been basically splitting the center minutes, which is something that we haven't seen happen in the past. In the past, the Bucks have played Lopez and Portis together on the floor at the same time. Will they continue to do that? Like, are they just going to continue to split the center minutes? I don't really know. Honestly, I don't think so. They've been giving Jericho Sims some minutes at center, but down 0-2 in the series, it feels like you kind of have to cut out some of those guys, like those Jericho Sims minutes. You kind of have to cut those out. Like, I don't expect Jericho Sims to be in this rotation the entire postseason. Like, I think he's going to probably get cut out of the rotation. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you do see Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez going back to sharing the floor together. Going back home as well, I expect the Bucks to play well here. They've kind of struggled the first 2 games in this series. I mean, Brook Lopez hasn't been bad. Like it's not like he hasn't been productive. He just hasn't been getting the minutes. But again, I think that's just kind of been some bad variance. Bobby Portis playing out of his mind in game 2, cut down Lopez's minutes, and then in game 1, the Bucks were down by like 20 going into the fourth quarter. Basically, Doc Rivers just played all the bench guys with Giannis the rest of the fourth quarter, and Brook Lopez got no minutes in the fourth quarter. I think more times than not, we can expect Brook Lopez to play like 24 to 25 minutes at the least, and there's a chance he plays like 28 to 30 minutes. I mean, Lopez averaged 32 minutes per game this season. So this is a great opportunity, in my opinion, to buy low on Brook Lopez. I mean, this is a guy that we saw to begin the series. His fantasy score line was like 24.5, 25.5 to begin the series, and has come down to 17.5 just because of one bad game where his minutes got cut. So, or one bad game where he just wasn't super productive. But last game, even with his minutes getting cut, he was still productive. He only played 16 minutes last game, which feels like the absolute floor. I mean, I think things need to go really bad for Brook Lopez for him to only play 16 minutes again. And even if he plays 16 minutes, he could still go over 17.5 fantasy score in 16 minutes. I mean, this is a guy that has historically been close to a fantasy point per minute player. He's a guy that can rack up a lot of blocks. He had 4 block shots last game. And if you're on Prizepicks, if you do fantasy score props, obviously blocks and steals, those are worth 3 points each. So getting those blocks is huge for fantasy. So I like this play a lot. Brook Lopez more than 17.5 fantasy score. And if you aren't playing on Prizepicks, so if you don't have fantasy score props, I think the play that I would like on Brook Lopez instead of fantasy score would be more than 8.5 points. Would think if Brook Lopez goes over this fantasy score line, he probably goes over this points prop as well. But obviously that's kind of dependent on what other stats he gets. If he does get some blocks and steals, then obviously fantasy score that's going to look a lot better. Like last game, Lopez only had 8 points, but he still went over fantasy. But like in game 1, he had 9 points but went under fantasy. So it's kind of just pick your poison here. But I think both these props are good on Brook Lopez. I'm expecting a better game for Brook Lopez. I'm expecting more minutes than what he's played so far in this series. Just don't think we're going to continue to see him and Bobby Portis split the center minutes. I think we'll probably see those guys back to sharing the floor together, because that's what they've done basically the whole season. I mean, they've been sharing the floor together pretty much the whole season. I don't know why now in the playoffs, Doc Rivers just doesn't want to play these guys together. But that's what I like as our first play, guys. And then the other play that I like, we're going to go to the Lakers and Timberwolves game. And I like Rudy Gobert for more than 26.5 fantasy scores. So it's kind of another situation here, similar to the Brook Lopez one, where Rudy Gobert has kind of struggled in this series. His minutes have gotten cut down in both of these games. So in game 1, he picked up some early foul trouble, had 3 fouls in the first half, and then in the second half, Naz Reid, he was just playing out of his mind. Like Naz Reid could not miss in game 1, and that's another reason why Gobert's minutes got cut down. And then last game, Gobert did get back up to 29 minutes, which is that's definitely where we should expect him to be, if not more than that. I mean, before the playoffs came around, like to end the regular season, Rudy Gobert was playing incredible. Like he was playing some of the best basketball that he's played all season. And now that they're in the playoffs, he's struggled. And Gobert, like I don't know why for whatever reason, but he has kind of historically struggled in the playoffs. Like if you look at his fantasy points per minute compared to like the regular season versus the playoffs, his fantasy points per minute do go down. Like he's just not as productive. And I don't know if that's just because like he's not as involved in the offense, maybe not as aggressive on the glass, whatever it may be. But this is a player that throughout his career has been a guy that you can project to average a fantasy point per minute, if not well over that. So far this season, Gobert has averaged he's averaged exactly 1 fantasy point per minute. Last season with the Timberwolves, he averaged 1.12 fantasy points per minute. He averaged 1.11 fantasy points per minute the season before that. So on average, when Gobert plays like 26 to 28 minutes, I would bet on him going over this fantasy score line. And I think 26 to 28 minutes is a floor for Gobert. Like I think unless he gets in foul trouble, like he's going to play 25 to 28 minutes regardless. And obviously if he's playing well, then he could get up to like 33, 34 minutes. I mean, you look at these games where he was playing really well in the regular season, he was playing huge minutes in those games. 38 minutes against Utah, 33 against Brooklyn, 36 against Memphis. What's to say this is the game that Gobert goes back to playing like 35, 36 minutes? Minnesota's going back home. They are favorites in this game. And I think Gobert does better, and he's more likely to be on the floor when Minnesota has a lead or it's a competitive game. I think when Minnesota gets behind, which is kind of what happened in game 2, when Minnesota gets behind and they're trailing, they tend to try and play more small ball, just kind of get more shooting out there. So that definitely is a concern, like in spots where, if the Lakers get like a 15, 20-point lead, especially late in the game, those are scenarios where maybe Gobert can get kind of played off the floor. But that seems unlikely to happen, especially with Minnesota playing at home now. You would expect this game to be more competitive, if not Minnesota have a lead. Again, they're favored by 3.5. Just think this is a really good opportunity to buy low on Gobert. Again, his fantasy score line to start this series, like I want to say his line in game 1 was like 33.5. And then last game, I think it was like 29.5 or 30.5. And now it's down to 26.5, but nothing's really changed for Gobert. It's just that, again, minutes got cut in game 1 because of foul trouble. Naz Reid played out of his mind game 1, and then last game, 29 minutes just wasn't very productive. You give me 29, 30 minutes from Gobert, I would bet on him going over 26.5 fantasy score more times than not, and I think there's definitely a chance he plays like 33, 34 minutes here. I don't think Gobert is just suddenly going to play under 30 minutes every game. Like, that's just, he's typically not been that type of player. When he's starting, he's playing 30-plus minutes. He averaged 33 minutes per game, during the regular season. So I like that as our second play, guys. We're going to take Rudy Gobert for more than 26.5 fantasy score. And for those of you that aren't able to take fantasy score, I think the prop that I would take on Gobert would either be his points plus rebounds or his PRA. Right now, I think his PRA on Prizepicks, the line is at, let's see where it's at. It's at 21, and then his points plus rebounds, I believe, is at 20, I think. Last time I checked, it's at 19.5. So I think 21 PRA versus 19.5 PR. I think I'd actually just take 19.5 PR. So if you're looking for an alternative prop on Gobert besides PR or besides fantasy score, I do like this line on 19.5 PR. Would think if he goes over this PR, or if he goes over fantasy score, he probably goes over this PR line too. But obviously it could depend on if he gets some blocks or gets some steals. He is a guy that can get block shots. So like, it's pick your poison there. If you have access to fantasy score, if you're able to play that, I would take that first. But for those of you that are maybe on a sports book and you don't have Prizepicks or you don't have DFS apps, you don't have fantasy score, then 19.5 PR on Gobert is an alternative play that I do like as well. But that'll do it, guys, for our 2 plays for Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, appreciate you watching. Make sure that you hit that like button down below. If you did enjoy, hit that subscribe button as well. And again, if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, sign up, use promo code NOAH. When you play your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck tonight, guys. Appreciate your support. Let's win some money tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next video.